He's considered by many the third best shooting guard in NBA's history, and he's a top 50 player of all time. Meet Dwyane Wade and his best individual season. As usual, hello fellow basketball lovers. In this series I'm going to talk about the best individual campaigns posted by NBA players which haven't ended with a regular season MVP trophy. These videos are not a knock on the actual winner, but I'll just try to make a case why other candidates were deserving of winning the MVP award as well. Each year, we're seeing countless discussions happening ever since day one of the season on who is going to win the highly coveted MVP award. What am I saying here? The betting odds are out months before the season even starts. Unfortunately, not every great NBA season is rewarded with the MVP award. This way, over the course of these videos, we're going to recognize the individual efforts put up by historical talents who may have either won the award in a different season or have been totally overlooked by the voters throughout their careers. For this episode, I selected an NBA Hall of Famer who has never won a regular season MVP, and we're going to make a case on why Dwyane Wade's 2008-2009 season deserved the award. And we'll also discuss about what went against him actually winning the trophy. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the NBA Time Travel community. In the 2008-2009 season, Wade was playing ball. It was a historic season which is not talked about as often as it deserves. Why am I calling it historic? Just because, as Sports Illustrated wrote in an article, there are only two players in NBA's history to not win the MVP award after averaging at least 30 points per game, 7.5 assists per game and 5 rebounds per game. And these are 09 Wade and 2023 Luka Doncic. The same article talks about how fans consider that Wade got snubbed that year, but not only did he not win the trophy, he finished third in voting, which, in hindsight, is absolutely insane. The 09 season ended with LeBron James winning his first of 4 MVP awards, with him playing alongside multiple veterans and seasoned players. Why is this important? Well, just because consistency and experience matter, especially when it comes to playing together and having a stable coaching staff. Players tend to exponentially grow, they build team chemistry, and they become better together. The game looks more fluid and effortless when you have a core of guys who have played together for multiple seasons. Think about the San Antonio Spurs teams which had a backbone of 3 superstars, Duncan, Ginobili and Parker, who played together almost their entire careers, and even when they were past their primes, the 3 of them had established a team culture, had flawless ball movement, and they knew how to maximize each other's strengths. Coming back, unfortunately for Wade, this is something that LeBron James benefited more of during the 09 season. James not only had his longtime partners on his side for the entire year, but he had also played for the same coach for the last 3 years, going on year 4. And that's Mike Brown, who even got the Coach of the Year award for this season. Alongside James, you can see multiple tenured Cleveland players, such as Big Z Ilgauskas, Sasha Pavlovic, Anderson Varejao or Delonte West, who all knew how to play with him, where to position themselves on the court in order for James to lead the way and make everyone around him better. I'm not saying that these names are making any team a contender, but developing chemistry within the team and playing together for multiple years is sometimes more important than a marquee name on your squad. Think of Kyrie Irving in Boston or Harden in Brooklyn, which were failed experiments. To continue, even the latest trades that the Cavs had agreed on before the 09 season made sense. They traded for Ben Wallace, one of the best defenders of all time, to protect the paint next to Ilgauskas, and they acquired Mo Williams during the off-season. Mo not only helped relieve James of some of the offensive duties, but he played so well for the Cavs that he even made the All-Star team. On the other hand, the Miami Heat, who had won the NBA championship only 2 seasons earlier, had almost no one on the roster from that winning team, except for Wade and Udonis Haslem. Besides Haslem being the only teammate to run it back with Wade, the Heat also went through a coaching staff change after Pat Riley was replaced in 09 with Eric Spoelstra. Fun fact, this was Eric Spoelstra's first season as a head coach, ever. So who's there for Dwyane Wade for this season besides an inexperienced coach and Udonis Haslem? You have two promising rookies in Mario Chalmers and Michael Beasley, a bunch of role players that I'm not even going to mention because chances are you haven't heard of them anyway, and Shawn Marion, who had joined the team at the previous year's trade deadline. The Marion experiment didn't last long as he was traded away by mid-season for the poor man's version of Shaquille O'Neal named Jermaine. The Heat might have wanted to recreate the '06 Magic with another center named O'Neal, but unfortunately Jermaine O'Neal only averaged 13 points in the 27 games he logged after the trade. Besides having to run with an entirely different cast, Wade also suffered multiple injuries in the previous two seasons, limiting him to a total of 102 games over this time frame. So, in comparison to LeBron's robust team, which was tailored based on his skill set and led by the coach of the year, Wade was running with a team of new joiners, a rookie coach, lacking any bit of chemistry within the roster, while also coming back from injuries and multiple surgeries which have threatened to end his career. Let's think about this for a second. Had Wade been surrounded by a gelled supporting cast, could they have squeezed more wins for the season? Would there have been more voters on Wade's side of the court? I would assume yes, just because winning matters in the MVP discussion. And this brings me to point number 2. LeBron's resume for the season included not only the best record in the entire league, but also the greatest regular season record in Cleveland's history, posting 66 wins and 16 losses. Indeed, usually the best player on the best team in the league is winning the MVP trophy, and the voters have this on the top of the criteria list whenever they decide who to cast the vote for. But, in my opinion, there are times when one player impacts his team so much that they single-handedly turn a lottery team into a playoff one, and sometimes they even go ahead and win some postseason games or they escape the first round. A prime example in this case is Russell Westbrook in 2017, when he won the MVP trophy even though OKC finished 6th in the Western Conference. A more recent example is the 2023 award winner Joel Embiid, whose Philly team finished 3rd in the East, but they were still rewarded for their efforts. Just to be clear, I'm not arguing against them, as Westbrook averaged a triple-double for the season and Embiid was the scoring champion for the 2nd straight year. What I'm arguing here is that the MVP award usually goes to the best player of one of the conference's best teams, but there are exceptions to the rule, and that should be when a player posts a superhuman effort over an entire season. In 2009, Wade managed to get the Heat to the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Considering all the roster changes that the Heat went through over the last 2 years and having your second best player traded by mid-season, the Shawn Marion Jermaine O'Neal trade I've mentioned earlier, this is basically a one-man show, and it's quite remarkable that they even grabbed the 5th seed. What I think that most people overlooked in this MVP race is the fact that Wade almost single-handedly brought his team from having the worst record in the league, 15 and 67 in the past year, to almost grabbing playoff home court advantage in the next season, finishing with a 43 and 39 record. That's a 28 games swing in the wins column, and Wade is the sole reason for this. Now let's have a look over the voting results. I said earlier that Wade finished 3rd in voting behind the winner, LBJ, and the 2nd place, Kobe Bryant. I would call this a double snub for Wade. When it comes to team success, LeBron and Kobe had similar seasons as the Cavs went for 66 wins and the Lakers were right behind them at 65. Kobe benefited from multiple trades that made the Lakers title contenders and even champions in the season we centered this story around. The Lakers were already coming off a finals appearance in 2008 and they were once again catching the media's attention, seeing a resurgence after a series of disappointing seasons which started when Shaq took his talents to Miami in '04. With Kobe being the heart and soul of this team, his popularity was at an all-time high, which is something that definitely harmed Wade's chances of winning the MVP award, just because many votes were split between the two of them. Let's also have a look over the stats posted by each player for this season. From a statistical point of view, Wade had a better season than the players who finished above him in the MVP race. Basically, Wade is third in rebounds per game and he leads all three players in every other major statistical category. What's even more impressive is that despite being the shortest of the trio, Wade had a better average in blocks per game and also posted a better field goal percentage, meaning that he scored more efficiently. Furthermore, Wade was the scoring champion this season, and he dominated on the defensive end as well. Thanks to his leadership on this end of the court, the Heat were actually a decent defensive team, ranking 11th in the league. Moreover, Wade finished third behind Dwight Howard and LeBron James in the Defensive Player of the Year voting as well, so that's a testament to the monster season that he had. Ending up third in the Defensive Player of the Year race and winning the scoring crown says a lot about the workload that he had to carry on this weak Miami Heat team. To put it in perspective, Michael Jordan is the only player to win the scoring crown and the Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. Not only that, but we see that Wade's individual stats are better than the guys ahead of him in the MVP discussion, so we can conclude that the lack of team success has diminished his chances of winning the award. My question here is, where should we draw the line between team success, individual stats, and even better, a historic season? Wade's averages in 2009 place him in rare company, so in my opinion at some point the media and voters should have a 360 view and contextualize their votes instead of basing it on the best player on the best team narrative. But that's me, and maybe that's why I don't get to vote for NBA award winners. At least I can give my 2 cents on YouTube. And if you don't believe me, here's what Michael Jordan had to say about Wade and the 09 MVP. If you take him away from his team, I'm pretty sure they would not be as successful. If you take away LeBron, if you take away Kobe, their teams would still be competitive. If this kid does not play each and every game, they don't have a chance to win. In the end, it was all love between Wade and James, as after another season, the two teamed up to embark on a 4th straight finals run. Wade declared that he sometimes still pokes fun at James for keeping Wade's MVP trophy at his house and that he still thinks he deserved to win that year. In my opinion, it's a shame that D-Wade never got to win an MVP award and 09 was his best individual year. Still, he's a 3-time champion, a finals MVP, a scoring champ, 13-time All-Star, Olympic gold medalist, and in 2023 he got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, so he's accomplished a lot during his career. What do you think about the 2009 MVP race? Let me know in the comment section which team are you rooting for. Is it Team Wade, Team LeBron, or Team Kobe? Thanks for watching.